The Mega Power! Explode!
If you were colorblind and had an IQ less than 12, then you wouldn't care which portable you had. Of course, you wouldn't care if you drank from the toilet either.
Sega's counter to the Nintendo Game Boy was the ambitious Game Gear, a fully colored backlit screen handheld that was released in Japan in 1990. By 1991, we in North America could finally enjoy it, well, as long as our 6 AA batteries could last. Jesus! Could you squeeze any more slots for batteries, Sega? Ridiculous. Yatta! But I have to say, even if the Game Gear played second fiddle to the Game Boy, it was still great. 1995 was one of the last good years for the system, with big titles like Mortal Kombat 3, Power Rangers the movie, X-Men, Game Master's Legacy, Batman Forever, I guess, Rise Star, Earthworm Jim, and many more, giving players just plenty of solid choices to pick from. Primal Rage is another one of those options, a port of the arcade hit from 1994 by Atari, which threw a curveball in the already oversaturated fighting game genre, but this time with dinosaurs.
But she's got a new hat.
I've covered the Game Boy part in the very first episode of this series, and thought it was about time to show some love to the Game Gear, but how does it stack up with Nintendo's version? Who plays fighting games for the story? Am I right? Not this guy. No way. Anyways, Earth as we know it is wiped out as a cataclysm destroys civilization. In its wake arises Vertigo? Vertigo isn't in this one, right? No Vertigo? Okay. So we have 6 prehistoric dinosaurs fighting for control of New Earth. How metal does that sound? It's not Earth. It's Earth! Like puking it up. Earth! Yeah! Totally 90s kid thing. Seeing as the Game Gear only has 2 buttons, the controls are pretty simple. You've got a fierce attack and a quick attack. Pressing up on the D-pad will make you jump. What sets Rage apart is how you do your special moves. Take, for instance, Chaos's Puke attack. To vomit on your opponents, simply hold buttons 1 and 2 down and push up and forward. Voila! Instant projectile vomit. Can't think of any other fighters that uses this kind of control scheme, but I actually kind of like it. It's really easy to pull off moves in this game, and it responds very well. Same with the fatalities. Hold 2 buttons down, enter the command, and bingo. You got a fatality off. Don't you feel great? We've also got combos too, and you can pull off a lot of bread and butter combos for each dino pretty easy with a little practice. I love Blizzard's freeze, punch, air throw combo. It looks sick. Game modes are not plentiful, but that's to be expected for the time. There's a single-player arcade ladder, which you fight your way through all the other dinosaurs up into the final endurance encounter where you'll fight everyone, one after another, to claim your title. Not a big fan of endurance matches and Might Fighters, but it's okay. And then you got a training mode, which is just a single match against the CPU, but it's a great way to practice your fatalities and special moves. As far as options go, we can change the difficulty, time, number of credits, and that's about it. Very basic stuff. Graphically, this port blows the Game Boy version away. Color is a small thing, but it really does add a lot. Especially with blood shooting off everywhere, it's just not the same on Game Boy. The sprites look really nice, almost like the digitized claymation models of the arcade, almost. The apes especially look good with their shading too. The backgrounds, however, are a little flat and boring. No real sense of depth or movement or anything. Take a look at the city stage. Yeah, there's buildings there, but where's the detail? The cave is just a blob of brown. Ugh. While color is nice, a little something extra in the background would have been great to see and really makes things stand out. Given that this is a port of an arcade game, there's going to be omissions. The obvious one is the 7th fighter Vertigo. Now this femme fatale, yes apparently that thing is female, was left on the cutting room floor, but the Game Boy version suffered this loss too. Another thing stripped away are the humans. They would run around the stage ready to sacrifice themselves to you as a quick snack. So sadly, you won't be munching on them on the Game Gear version. The sound effects are nothing to write home about, just a basic punch, kick, and bite affair. No bestial roars or screams or anything really, and that's kind of a bummer. The music is also in the same boat. Nothing stands out or is special to me. I do like the fatality theme with the jungle-like drums, that's cool, but that's about it. Everything else is stock, if that makes sense. Even comparing the Game Boy and Game Gear versions, they basically sound the same, except the GG doesn't have that ear-grating sound effect when you're picking your options. Issue 73 of GamePro magazine was quite amazed with the handheld port, giving it a 16 out of a possible 20, with high praise to the visuals. Game Players number 76 gave a solid score of 76%, stating the Game Gear version is more impressive than the 16-bit versions. That's high praise coming from them. I gotta say, like the Game Boy port, it surprised me how much fun I had playing this game. It was easy to pick up and play, having a straightforward and to-the-point arcade ladder with very little fat on the bone. And sometimes that's okay. There's not a big roster of fighters, but what's there is good, looks good too, and the addition of color makes the game stand out a little more. The sound and music could be improved on, but what's there works. The controls are nice and tight with simple special moves and fatalities to perform. Primal Rage on the Game Gear gets a solid recommendation from me. I say check it out.